The Kansas City Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri has been nothing short of electrifying this year. Yet, Saturday morning's 10th practice session delivered something far beyond the ordinary. A spectacle so captivating, it has the entire Chiefs kingdom buzzing with anticipation for what the upcoming NFL season may hold. In front of a capacity crowd of die-hard fans, many of whom traveled hours to see their beloved team prepare for another championship charge, the Chiefs staged what many are calling the most gripping and revealing session of camp so far. The atmosphere crackled with energy as supporters arrived long before the first whistle, eager to catch a glimpse of their gridiron heroes and witness the forging of the next generation of Kansas City greatness. The spotlight on Saturday fell squarely on a long-awaited clash. A duel between rookie left tackle Josh Simmons and the Chiefs' powerhouse defensive tackle, Chris Jones. This was no routine practice drill. It was a collision between future promise and present dominance, between raw ambition and battle-tested mastery. On one side, a young lineman hungry to carve his name into NFL lore. On the other, a legendary disruptor whose name alone can send shivers down the spines of offensive coordinators across the league. Simmons, the gifted newcomer who has been turning heads from the moment he set foot in the Chiefs facility, has been outstanding in the early stages of camp. Starting at left tackle every single practice, he has consistently displayed the footwork, athleticism, and football IQ that convinced Kansas City's front office he could be a foundational piece of their offensive line for years to come. Against the Chiefs' star-studded defensive front, featuring the likes of George Karlaftis, Mike Dana, and Charles Omenihu, Simmons has shown remarkable poise for a player making the leap from the college ranks. But Saturday was different. This was his first true test against Chris Jones, the towering, fearsome defensive tackle who has anchored Kansas City's defensive dominance for years. Jones is the ultimate litmus test for any offensive lineman, rookie or veteran, blending rare size, brute force, explosive speed, and surgical technique to dismantle blockers and collapse pockets. The anticipation for this matchup had been brewing all camp long. Coaches, teammates, and fans alike wanted to know, how would Simmons fare against one of the very best in the game? The Chiefs' staff had intentionally engineered this confrontation, knowing that to prepare Simmons for the regular season, he needed to face the league's most elite. Their first showdown came during an 11-on-11 period focused on high-pressure third down scenarios, the money downs that often decide games. The setup was perfect, a rookie out to prove himself, squaring off against a proven superstar in a moment heavy with consequence. As the ball was snapped, Jones exploded from his stance with the ferocity that has made him one of football's most feared defenders. But Simmons didn't flinch. Meeting Jones with flawless technique, he held his ground, keeping the All-Pro at bay and shielding quarterback Patrick Mahomes long enough for the two-time Super Bowl champion to release the ball cleanly. The beauty of the rep lay in its precision. Jones brought his trademark aggression. Simmons countered with poise beyond his years. No panic, no wasted motion, just a young tackle executing under the brightest of spotlights. While the quick release prevented Jones from unveiling his full repertoire of pass rush moves, it showcased Simmons' ability to provide immediate, reliable protection. Exactly what Mahomes needs to thrive. Their second meeting came in the one-on-one pass rush drill, a crucible designed to tilt the advantage toward the defender, offering offensive linemen a trial by fire. And for Josh Simmons, it was yet another opportunity to prove he belonged on the same field as the game's elite. These one-on-one drills are crafted to push offensive linemen to their absolute threshold, forcing them to refine their craft, sharpen their instincts, and forge the mental steel required to survive the fiercest moments they'll face under live fire on Sundays. For this particular rep, Chris Jones unveiled a tactical wrinkle that underscored his elite football intellect and adaptability. Throughout most of camp, Jones had wreaked havoc from the interior, collapsing pockets from the inside out. But here, he shifted gears, lining up on the outside to present Josh Simmons with a fresh, unfamiliar challenge. This subtle adjustment not only disrupted the rookie's pre-snap expectations, it showcased the positional versatility that makes Jones a nightmare for opposing coordinators. What followed was a clinic in trench warfare. Simmons fired off the snap with impressive quickness, executing a jump set, a proactive technique where the lineman steps toward the rusher to cut off momentum before it builds. His preparation and anticipation were evident. This was not a rookie frozen by the moment. Jones, however, countered with the cold efficiency of an all-pro. Unleashing a violent power rush, he struck with pinpoint hand placement inside Simmons' frame, the golden zone for defenders seeking leverage. Dropping his hips, Jones began driving forward, his raw strength threatening to bulldoze his way into the backfield. But Simmons refused to crumble. In the most telling moment of the rep, the rookie instinctively dropped his anchor, popped his hips, and absorbed the surge. Technique met tenacity. He neutralized Jones's first wave, denying him the clean penetration that would have spelled disaster in a real game. The two combatants remained locked in battle, Simmons working to reestablish hand control, Jones probing for the fatal opening. Then, with the kind of veteran cunning that comes from years of high-stakes combat, Jones finished the engagement with a vicious, jarring shove that sent the rookie reeling just enough to claim the rep. On paper, Jones won, but in reality, Simmons had just passed a trial that even seasoned veterans often fail. His ability to recover, reset, and stand his ground under that level of pressure was nothing short of remarkable. Many linemen with years in the league struggle to display such composure against an elite pass rusher. Yet Simmons had done it as a rookie. The significance wasn't lost on those watching. A former Chiefs All-Pro, observing from the sideline, pointed out the deeper chess match at play. Jones, he explained, wasn't simply looking to dominate one drill. He was planting strategic seeds, setting Simmons up for future counters, cataloging tendencies, and laying traps to be sprung later in camp, or even in a high-stakes regular season matchup. This is the separator between great players and the truly legendary. The ability to think in layers, to use each snap as a data-gathering mission as much as a competitive battle. It's why Chris Jones has remained an almost unstoppable force year after year. And then came their final meeting of the day, the decisive clash during the last full team period. This time, the tables would turn. Jones opened with a familiar bull rush, the same one that had given him success earlier. The plan was to bait Simmons into overcommitting before transitioning into a devastating swim move that would catch the rookie off balance and unleash havoc in the backfield. I'm here to bring you the latest out of Kansas City, where beneath the thunderous applause lies a saga of high-stakes gambles, fragile resurgences, and an uncertain path forward. In the wake of a crushing Super Bowl heartbreak, the Chiefs' front office launched into a feverish offseason overhaul. Monumental contracts were inked to safeguard their crown jewel under center. Veteran icons were lured back into the fold, while young defenders found themselves teetering on the edge of the roster bubble. But as the dust settles, murmurs of second-guessing and speculation are growing louder. Will these aggressive free agent investments yield returns? Can once reliable contributors reclaim their relevance? And is there still room for one more game-altering move before training camp kicks off? The answers to these questions will shape the next defining chapter in this dynasty's evolution. Let's dive into everything unfolding in Kansas City over the last few hours. First, a quick favor. If you appreciate our work, please hit that like button. Many of you watch our content daily and simply forget to click that thumbs up. It's a small gesture that means the world to us and helps our channel grow. Thank you sincerely. Kansas City went all in this offseason to reinforce the offensive line, but their headline acquisition, Jalen Moore, may already be unraveling. In the Chiefs' Super Bowl loss to Philadelphia, Patrick Mahomes was sacked 6 times. A brutal indictment of a line that buckled when it mattered most. That collapse didn't just end their dream of a historic three-peat. It sent the front office back to the drawing board. Last season, the offensive line conceded 41 sacks, placing them 16th in the NFL. Not catastrophic, but far from championship caliber when your franchise rides on the shoulders of football's ultimate talisman. Mahomes is the lifeblood of this dynasty. Keeping him upright isn't a priority. It's a mandate. So the Chiefs didn't tiptoe into free agency. They plunged in headfirst, their marquee splash, a 2-year, $30 million pact with Moore. On paper, it looked ambitious. In reality, fans are already experiencing buyer's remorse. Drafted in the 5th round in 2021 by San Francisco, Moore spent 4 seasons as a reserve, logging just 12 starts as a swing tackle. His 2024 cameo, 5 starts at left tackle, sparked just enough optimism to lure Kansas City into overpaying. Whether they unearthed an overlooked gem or hastily patched a chronic issue, shelling out $30 million for a glorified backup raised eyebrows across the league. Then came the 2025 NFL Draft, where Kansas City doubled down by selecting Ohio State's Josh Simmons in the 1st round, their presumed long-term answer at left tackle. With Simmons recovering from a knee injury, Moore will man Mahomes' blindside to open the season. But once the rookie is cleared for action, Moore's starting gig and relevance could vanish overnight. If he falters, Moore could become the league's most expensive clipboard holder. His $11.2 million cap hit this season swells to $18.7 million in 2026. That's a steep tab for someone with just 5 quality starts on his resume. The contract offers an off-ramp. Cut him after 1 year, absorb $10.7 million in dead cap, and recoup $8 million. Not ideal, but far better than total disaster. The Chiefs rolled the dice that Moore's brief success hinted at hidden upside, not a fluke. But if Simmons proves the real deal, Kansas City may pull the plug on Moore's deal much sooner than expected. In today's NFL, protecting your quarterback is the gold standard, and this gamble could unravel under the weight of expectation. While the offensive line situation stirs anxiety, the front office hedged their bets by bringing back a familiar playmaker, Marquise Hollywood Brown. Despite last season's painful finale, the Chiefs' roster remains largely intact. Their offseason strategy prioritized continuity over overhaul. And one reunion in particular raised eyebrows. Brown entered 2024 as one of the league's premier vertical threats. But a preseason shoulder injury sidelined him until December, prompting many to assume the team would move on. Instead, Kansas City reunited with the speedster on a 1-year, $7 million deal, and that decision is already bearing fruit. Mahomes is rekindling the chemistry that once made this duo electric. When you've already built a rapport with someone, you don't need a ramp-up, Mahomes shared at minicamp. Hollywood, Worthy, Rashi, Juju, they're putting in the work. We revisit old plays, and that familiarity sharpens everything. It's the same rhythm Travis Kelce and I thrive on. The message is clear. Chemistry creates efficiency. Last season's air attack sputtered. Mahomes posted his lowest passing yards, 3,928, YPA, 6.8, and TDs, 26, since becoming a starter in 2018. Thank you guys. See you next video.